Hi everyone, thank you for coming to my channel today. My name is Sadie, and today I will be guiding you through a 60-minute Vinyasa to Yin Yoga slow flow sequence for Valentine's Day. So this practice will involve a lot of heart openers and a lot of love. So hop on your mat. You won't be needing any props for this practice, but as always you can have a block, some blankets, anything like that nearby. So we will begin on our bellies, come on down, and we'll start in our Sphinx Pose. Once you find yourself in this position, start from the bottom, make your way up. So pressing those toes, the tops of the feet down into the mat, trying to keep the legs pressing down, nice and long. Feeling that gentle stretch in the hips, waking up the lower back body. And just starting to connect with the breath here. So feeling an inhale, going all the way down into the mat. And then an exhale coming through the mat, through your body, and out your mouth. We'll come onto the left fingertips, sending the right arm out to the side to a cactus arm. And we'll adjust the knees over to the left. So your right hand should be behind you as your knees twist to the left. Once you get into this position, you should feel a nice stretch through the shoulder girdle on the right side. Trying to release that shoulder down into the floor. Allowing any tension to drift. We'll press into that left hand, start to extend the knees, coming back to the belly. We'll switch to the other side, so come to Sphinx to neutralize. And then we'll come to the fingertips on the right hand. Left hand comes to a cactus arm, and we'll start to shift the knees to the right, coming onto the left hip. And as you find this pose, find your limit. So don't go to a point where you don't feel comfortable, you can't breathe. But find the limit that you can go to, that you can stay there and stay calm. The healthy limit. start to press into the right hand, extending through the legs, coming back to our Sphinx Pose. Elbows underneath the shoulders. And now pull those elbows back, bringing nose to the mat, hands underneath the shoulders. Then we'll press up to a cobra. And keep this first one pretty low. So just keeping those elbows tugging into the body. All 10 fingers are pressing into the mat. And we'll lower down. Let's take 2 more like that. So pressing into the mat, we lift up. Heart opens to the front wall. And exhale to lower down. Really pairing breath with movement here. And last one, pulling elbows in. Chest opens to the front. And exhale, lower it down. We'll press up and back, child's pose. So open the knees nice and wide this time. Arms extending out in front of you. And if this is the first real movement that you're doing today, you can take small side-to-side rocking motions here, getting into those hips for the first time today. And we'll press into those hands, lifting up, coming to our tabletop. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, finding a nice long spine. We'll drop the belly, take a big inhale. And on an exhale, round the spine. Taking our cat and cows here, drop the belly, inhale. And exhale, round. Take a few more like that. Breathing with each transition. And then you can start to play around, so rocking the body from side to side, drawing circles with the rib cage. Whatever movement feels good. And make sure that your head is involved in the movement, so not holding that in one place, but letting it move around as well. All right, on our next inhale, we'll take our final motion and then exhaling back to a neutral spine. From here, let's step the right foot in between the hands. Just taking a gentle lunge here, so don't press the hips too far forward right away, but just easing into this first lunge. And take this moment to press your left foot, the front of the foot down into the mat. Feeling a nice stretch through that left leg. And we'll plant both hands. We're going to slide the right foot back and kick it up towards the ceiling. So pull it through and then kick it right up. Once you get here, you can either stay where you are or you can reach the left arm all the way up and around, catching a hold of the front of the right foot. Once you get here, you can press foot into hand, feeling this nice heart opener. Now this is a balancing pose, so if you do happen to fall off of balance, that's no big deal. I do it all the time, so just keep pressing, trying to find that stability, and if you fall out, just come right back into it. One more breath here. And on our exhale, we'll release the leg, but keeping the arm high. And right away, we'll wrap that arm around the lower back, grabbing a hold of the right crease from the thigh to the hip. Once you get here, if you can get here, if not, you can just have the hand wrapped around the lower back. We'll start to shift our heart up towards the sky. Notice if you're breathing here. And on your next inhale, release your arm back up to the sky. Take a few wrist circles here. And let's thread it through. So tucking the left hand underneath the right, left shoulder comes down to the mat. Sending our breath directly to the back, really trying to expand. And we'll start to unwind, bringing left hand to meet the right, back to our tabletop. We'll take 2 cat-cows here just to neutralize, so curving the spine. And rounding it. Another like that. Dropping the belly. And rounding. Back to neutral. We'll step the left foot in between the hands, coming into our low lunge. So nice and easy. Pressing the front of that right foot down this time. Just taking this moment to notice where your body is at today. If you're feeling a little bit sore, this is your moment to attend to that. We'll take one more breath here. And plant those hands. We'll start to shift the left foot back and up, kicking that heel towards the sky. You can either stay here, or if you felt comfortable, you can reach the right arm up and around, grabbing a hold of that left foot. Pressing foot into hand, opening the heart towards the front of your space. One more breath here. And let it go, reaching that right arm towards the sky. We'll roll the wrist a couple of times. And then thread it through. Right shoulder coming down to the mat. Notice while you're here if you feel the hips starting to sway from one side to the other. So really trying to keep the hips stabilized right in the middle. And what can help is pulling those hips towards the right side while you're here. One more breath. And we'll press to unwind. Sitting those hips back, taking our extended child's pose once more. And right away, let's walk those fingertips over to the right side, going as far as you can. And once you reach that healthy edge, start to pull that left hip back. Really sending our breath into that left side of the body. And then walking back through center and over to the right. Trying to get that right hand as far as you can go, and then pulling the right hip back against it. Coming back to neutral, back to center. We'll come to our fingertips and stay on these fingertips as we sit the hips back one more time. Slowly start to walk the fingertips back towards the knees, sitting up in a kneel. We'll bring the knees together. Tuck those toes behind you. So we're going to wake up the feet here. Sitting up on the heels. And then we'll take our reverse prayer. So bringing the palms of the hands together behind your back and trying to get those hands as high as you can get them, and then opening the elbows wide. Now, this pose can be kind of uncomfortable when being held. So take this moment to think about your intention for the class today, why you showed up on the mat, why you chose to take this time for yourself, and what you expect to come out of it, feeling like, what you expect to get out of it for the rest of your day. Taking one final breath here. We'll release those hands, untuck the toes, and we'll walk back to the belly. So releasing the feet. You should feel a little tingle rolling all the way back to the belly. And this time, we're going to take our bow pose. So just take this pose as high as you'd like it this morning. So there's no reason to go extremely high. So once you get on your belly, grab the front of the feet with your hands and start to press foot into hand, trying to lift the chest off the mat, sending the heart forward. Breathing here. We're here for 3, for 2, and on the 1, we'll release back down. Hands coming besides the shoulders, feet relaxing. We'll press up and back. Tucking the toes, we'll make our way to our first downward facing dog. So walking the heels out here. We'll bend both knees, lifting the heels off the mat, shifting our gaze in between the hands. And we'll step all the way to the front of the mat, taking a forward fold. So keeping the feet hip distance apart here. And just grab opposite elbow, taking some gentle sways from side to side. We'll release the hands down and start to bend through the knees as we pull the tailbone towards the ground, lifting all the way up to stand, one vertebrae at a time. We'll take an inhale, arms reach out and up, Hands draw together and down to the heart. Let's reach the fingers back up towards the sky and take a swan dive over. So reaching both arms in opposition as we fold through the middle. Forward fold. Inhaling, lift up halfway, crown reaches away. And exhale, hands come down. We'll step both feet back, plank pose. We'll inhale to look forward, holding this really strong plank. And just drop the knees down, bending the elbows. We'll lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes and take your cobra, maybe a little bit bigger this time than before. And exhale, lower down, send it back, downward facing dog. We'll inhale, lift the right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip. And we'll draw right knee to the nose. And from here, stepping in between the hands, coming to a low lunge once again. So dropping that left knee, untucking the toes, shifting the gaze forward. From here, we'll plant the left palm, reach the right arm up and back, taking this twist. Now you can either stay here, or you can kick that left foot up and catch it in the right hand. Making sure that we're not on that left knee, but in front of it, and pressing those hips forward. And in this pose, I like to lean the chest back and try to get it to twist up to the sky. One more breath here. And gently release that foot. Hands come back down to frame the front foot. We'll tuck the back toes and lift up to our high lunge. So take any adjustments that you need for success and then shift those arms up. We'll draw the hands together and down to the heart. And we'll take 3 inhales with this action of breathing, expanding through the heart, and closing the hands. So from here, we'll take an inhale, open those palms away from each other, almost coming into cactus arms. And exhale, hands come back together. Inhale, hands open, chest expands. And exhale, hands together. Last one, inhale, expand. Back together. And this time, we'll plant the back foot coming into our warrior 2. So arms will extend to the front and the back of the room. The back foot is parallel to the shorter edge of the yoga mat. And right away, we'll straighten through the front leg and slide the right hand all the way down to the shin. Left arm reaches to the sky. Taking our triangle pose. And lean that left hand back. Really opening the heart here. Start to shift the gaze down towards the right foot. We'll bend through the right knee. Hands come down to frame that front foot. Shifting to our runner's lunge, and we'll step it back, plank pose. Inhale to look forward. You can drop your knees or keep them lifted, and we'll lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, cobra, pulling elbows into the side body. Exhale, lower and send it back. Downward facing dog. Pedaling out the heels. And we'll inhale, left leg rises. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Really lifting that knee even higher. And we'll draw a knee towards the nose. And then step that foot between the hands, dropping the back knee, low lunge. We'll plant the right hand this time, reach that left arm up and around, taking a twist. And for that extra quad stretch, you can bring that right foot up to meet the hand, pressing down through the front of that right knee. And then taking that lean back to open the heart towards the sky. Keep that breathing steady. Notice if you start to hold your breath here. And gently release that leg down. We're going to come into our high lunge, so tucking that back foot, maybe adjusting it in slightly as we press through the mat, lifting all the way up, arms reach towards the sky. We'll draw the hands together and down to the heart, taking this open heart movement here, so opening the hands away from each other, engaging the back body as we open the chest. So on an inhale, we'll open those hands. And exhale, gather. Inhale, open. Exhale, gather. Last time, opening, big inhale. Exhale, gather. And from here, we'll open the arms up, taking our warrior two. Right foot spins down, parallel to the shorter edge of the mat. Deep bend in the front knee. And we'll stretch through the left leg. Hips pull towards the back as we slide the left hand down the shin. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. And then really lean back here. Almost more than you think you're able to. Just take a risk. See how far your body can lean. One more breath here. We'll shift the gaze down towards their left foot. Bend through that knee as we frame the left foot. And then we'll step it back, plank pose. Nice strong plank. We'll inhale to look forward. You can drop your knees or keep them lifted as we lower to the belly. Inhale, lift up, cobra. And exhale, send it back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. This time you can either stay here or you can allow yourself to flip the dog. So dropping that right foot down to the mat, right arm reaches towards the sky, pressing the hips up. So both feet are grounded here. And as you're here, take that top arm and bring it down to your heart. Now send that hand back away, releasing that energy back up towards the sky. We'll flip back over, downward facing dog. And we'll step that right foot in between the hands. Right away, coming to our high lunge. We'll transition into warrior one, so flattening out that left foot behind us at a 45-degree angle. We'll let the arms release down and take that reverse prayer position. So bringing the palms together behind the back. And pressing against those hands. One more breath here. And we'll interlace those fingers, pressing the knuckles away from us, extending through the elbows as we open the heart and fold to the inside of our right leg. Gently, we'll release the hands. Right hand presses down to the inside of the right foot, and we'll stretch through that right leg as we extend the left arm up to the sky, coming back into this triangle pose. And from here, if you'd like to, you can take that same wrapping action we took earlier, so wrapping that left arm around the lower back, and hooking the hand on the right thigh. So that's just an option. You can keep that arm up to the sky if that feels better to you. One more breath here. And on an exhale, we'll unwind, coming back to our runner's lunge. Stepping it back to plank. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to lower to the belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower, and send it back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip. We'll be coming into our flipped dog here. So you can either stay where you are, or you can reach that left foot all the way down to the mat, coming to the outer edge of the right foot, and we'll reach that left arm towards the sky. You can let it fall forward if you like. And draw your hand to your heart. Take a moment. And then re-extend that arm, releasing that heart energy towards the sky. And we'll flip back over, downward facing dog. Right away, stepping that left foot in between the hands, coming up to our high lunge. Ooh. Arms reach up towards the sky. And we'll let those arms fall. Coming into our warrior one, we'll take the palms of our hands together behind our back, taking this reverse prayer. So the hips are still pulling towards the front of our space, grounding in both feet. And then keep energy in those elbows, so don't let them get loose. and start to pull towards the body. Really pull them away, opening the chest. We're here for 3, for 2. On the 1, we'll release this prayer hold, interlacing the fingers behind the lower back. Extend the knuckles down and away. And then send the heart to the inside of the left leg. Knuckles reaching high. And seeing if you can bring the palms of the hands together. So really squeezing through those shoulder blades. We'll take one final breath here. And on an exhale, we'll release the hands, left hand coming to the inside of the left leg. We'll straighten through that left knee, and we'll reach the right arm to the sky. Hips pulling towards the back wall. And once again, if you liked this other option of wrapping the lower back and then hooking that right hand to the right thigh, the left thigh, just opening the chest, pressing that shoulder back and away. And we'll unwind slowly, looking towards that left foot. We'll come down, planting the hands and step it back. Plank pose. This will be our last opportunity for Vinyasa. So inhale to look forward. Exhale, lower to the belly. Inhale, lifting up Cobra. And exhale, we'll just come straight to our child's pose. So you can take the knees as wide as you'd like, sinking those hips back, and just noticing any space that wasn't there earlier that is now allowing you to go even further. And we'll make our way into our yin portion of the class. So come up onto your hands and knees. Walk the knees a little bit closer together, right underneath the hips. And we'll start to walk the hands out away from us, coming into our melting heart pose. So trying to walk out as far as we can until we can get the forehead to touch the mat, heart melting towards the mat. Now in this pose, you can use a pillow or something to make it more comfortable for the forehead. But we will stay here for a minute or so. So finding the pose that you will be most successful in. If you notice a struggle, you can adjust your pose to make it more comfortable for you. There's no reason to suffer through these long holds. Taking one final breath here. And we'll gently come out of it, rolling forward, coming to our Sphinx Pose. So elbows right below the shoulders, shoulders pressing down. And we'll stay here for about a minute or two, really feeling the pelvis ground. These yin portions of class really offer an opportunity to check in with the thoughts, the mind's activity, to notice how much we bounce around in our heads. So take this time to try to come into the body. From here, we'll come into our seal pose. So pressing the hands down as we extend through the elbows, lifting up even higher. We won't stay here for quite as long. And if this is too much for the lower back, you can come back to your Sphinx pose and just stay there for a little bit longer. Taking a final breath here. And we'll come out of this pose on an exhale, lowering the elbows down. We can press up and come to our seat. We'll lower onto our backs from here. So lower all the way down. And right away, let's bring our arms to cactus position. So both elbows are bent. The backs of the hands are resting. And we'll just draw the knees into the chest without using the arms. And we'll drop those knees over to the left, keeping the arms where they are. We'll stay here for a minute or so. Just allow yourself to melt, connecting each shoulder down to the earth. Taking your final breath here. Slowly start to unwind, coming back. Laying on your back, elbows are still wide. We'll pull our knees back into our chest if our feet lowered, and dropping the knees over towards the right this time. So really feeling gravity. Taking one final breath here. And we'll unwind, coming back to center, both feet plant on the mat. And we'll finish with our bridge pose. So pressing both feet down, and we'll send those hips up towards the sky. You can either stay here, or you can interlace the fingers behind the back and walk those shoulders closer together, getting this full extension. Really feeling that stretch in the chest. About 5 more breaths here. And gently release those hands if they were together and roll down through the spine. Let's come into a reclined butterfly so the soles of the feet connect. Grabbing opposite elbow above the head. And taking this moment to release everything. Noticing how your body feels. Letting the arms release down by your sides. And rather than taking a traditional Shavasana, we'll actually come up to seated. So close one knee to the top of the other and gently press your way to a comfortable seat. Once you find your comfortable seat, you can either prop yourself up on a pillow or a block, just something to make your seat a little bit more comfortable. And once you find the seat, allow your eyes to soften. Notice your breathing here. And try to relax your whole body. Noticing the breathing in and the breathing out. And as you sit here, keeping your eyes closed, I want you to think of a person close to you who loves you very much. It could be someone from the past or the present. Someone still in life or who has passed. Imagine that person standing on your right side or sitting on your right side. Sending you their love. That person is sending you wishes for your safety, for your well-being and happiness. Feel the warm wishes and the love coming from that person towards you. Now bring to mind that same person or another person who cherishes you deeply. Imagine that person seated on your left side, sending you wishes for your wellness, for your health and happiness. Feel the kindness and warmth coming to you from that person. Now, imagine that you are surrounded on all sides by all the people who love you and have loved you. Picture all of your friends and loved ones surrounding you. They are sending you wishes for your happiness, your well-being, and your health. Bask in the warm wishes and love coming from all sides. You are filled and overflowing with warmth and love. On your next inhale, draw your hands together at your heart. Really allow yourself to feel that loving kindness throughout your body and hopefully throughout your day. We'll draw our hands to our third eye. And we'll bow. Namaste.